Okay, all
So
right.
it's an honor and a pleasure to finally be talking to Mr. Coco Roussel. When I was much younger and when I was working at Radio Futuro FM, especially, I never imagined that technology would allow us to make contact so directly. So, thank you for the time, the interest, Coco, and it's a real honor. So, thank you.
Oh, sure. Thank you, you. I mean, to contacting me, and yeah, it's amazing to find new fans from the past, still around and still dedicated like you. I mean, that's good, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, there's a phrase that I found checking your website that says, please stay off the stage. What does it really mean?
Well, I mean, to me, that was a gig that I was doing with a band, and there was a lot of kids around and stuff like that, So to
Okay.
me, I thought that was a good comical thing, to
Uh-huh.
be there on stage and say, please stay off the stage, So it was just as a joke, so if you want, but they have it there for the kids and the people not to go on stage, also,
Hmm.
that.
I see. Well, I hope you don't mind. My cat is my assistant here.
Oh,
She's
I
sitting on
have
my
a cat
lap.
too.
You,
I have
you
a
do?
cat too, but he will
Oh,
not come. He's afraid of people here. So
yeah, great. Now, Coco, you have a long a storyline that goes from your teenage bands. I think that some of them were Stradivarius, that had three stages. You were involved in rhythm and blues rock, and musical progressive music, experimental rock. So I don't know which era or which time became or has become more meaningful, more important to you as a drummer? Maybe all of them, all of those
I
stages.
think all of them because it's a progression. When you start, younger as a kid, you follow the pattern and what comes to you as far as the style. So I think it's they all met something at some point to develop my style and my creativity as an artist, if you want. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Did you have any influences in your family, your grandparents? How did you
Well,
decide
what
to?
happened is my father was a wanted to be a musician, if you want. So he always had instruments around the house. He had an accordion, he had a banjo, he had a mandolin, a guitar. And for me as a kid, I mean, I tried some of those, but it didn't feel right. I was not connecting with it. What happened is with my older brother, one day I had a banjo. I cut the neck of that banjo. I cut the neck. We cut the neck, made a stand, and that was my first snare there. So
Okay.
for some reason, the drums attracted me at that point.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
we started speaking, yeah. So interesting.
Yeah. And how did you? I suppose because I'd never been in that experience. I moving from a cultural place like France, where I guess you were born,
Yes.
to Washington, D.C. in the USA. What were the ups and downs regarding cultural aspects and musically speaking?
I'm not sure there was much of a down. It was just a
Mhm.
question of adjustment, if you want, because definitely a different lifestyle. But again, when you're in your 20s, it's easier to adapt than if I had moved like in my 40s and 50s, if you want.
Mhm.
So they were not really done. I was fortunate that my ex-wife was American, and that's why I came to the
Ah,
States actually. I met her in
okay.
France, and and her parents wanted to go back, and so that's how I was able legally to come to the States. And
Okay.
for me, at that time in France, in my 20s, I was doing things in France with Heldon and all this stuff. But I mean, when you have an opportunity like that in your life to take, you make that choice, and I was able to make that choice, and I have no regrets, definitely.
Okay. And do you have a vision today, after so long, how the music industry is, how different is the music industry in France than in America? How easy or difficult is it to become like someone in the music scene? Uh,
Well,
is that, yeah.
yeah, that's a good question there. Because these days now we have so much like the access that we have. Look at that. We're talking to different countries. Back these days, that doesn't exist. You had you were limited to what you have. So I'm not sure. It might be in some ways easier for new artists. You know, it might be easier because you can expand your project and stuff quicker and bigger in that sense. You know, but there's so many more. So I don't know. You know, it's not. I'm not sure if it's. So I'm not sure if it's easier. You know, I don't know. It's difficult. I'm not at that stage. So for me, so I don't know. I could not tell. You know.
Uh-huh. Now, it's been a surprise while reading about your story and all that, your biography, to find out, to discover that you recorded with some artists that I used to play on the radio station Futuro FM, like Michael Manring, whom I also interviewed some time ago, Winston Steward, David Arkenstone. All those people were on my playlist on the radio. How does a drummer like you reach diversity to fulfill every different need? Because they were all making different music. Are you given any freedom to create at any point? How does it work? Because I'm not a musician. That's the reason of my question.
Well, I think with these artists there specifically, I mean, I was hired for what I could bring. So,
Okay.
I mean, and for me, I'm able to. I think because all my experience, different style of music, you know, I'm not stuck in one style specifically, so I can adjust in relation to what the artist would look for. I'm able to adapt and give them what I think will work for them, you know. So I have a lot of somewhat a lot of freedom in that sense, you know, with David Arkenstone and Michael. So there was never, you know, a conflict of a creation, if you want, in that sense, you know.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't you don't have any relationships these days with those people, or what new
No,
people? Yeah.
no, I do not. No, I mean that
Oh,
was a.
okay.
I mean directly, like I say. I mean it's just.
It was a job.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not a job. I mean they were friends too. I mean for a
Ah,
point, you know.
okay. Okay.
Michael Manring, I met it in DC. Actually, that's one of the reasons with him and Greg Carrucas that I met Happy Man. So it's all connected in that sense. And
Okay.
when I moved to California, Michael being in Oakland, California, at some point I was able to connect, and he needed to do his album, and that's how we connected. David Arkenstone, I met him through my ex. I mean, it's little stories like that, but who you meet at what time and the circumstances, you know. So,
Mhm.
but not really close friends, if you want. Still, I think professional relationships, if you want, in that sense, you know.
Mhm.
You know. So that's why I don't have any more contact with these people at this point, you know.
And where in the United States, where did you move to?
Right now, you mean?
When
Or
you moved, when you went to California, Los
yeah, I
Angeles?
went to California. Yeah, I'm the suburb of Los Angeles. It's called Simi Valley. It's outside of a valley from Los Angeles. You know, so that's why I moved. Yeah, in 87, 1987.
Long time. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Years go by. The years
Yeah.
go by.
Yeah, they do. Now, you have a relationship with blues and rock. I like guitarist Teresa Russel. I know you work with
Yes.
her. Yeah, and I think she's played with Walter Trout and Carl Palmer. And there's also a guy called Bill Breland, a Bill Breland Blues Band.
What? Well, Bill Brennan, you mean Bill Brennan? Well, that's the
Yeah,
best player with us. That
yes.
was when with Teresa. At some point, when I met Teresa, we created a blues trio with Teresa, Billy, and myself. So we had a blues trio that for about actually 25 some years, you know. And to these days, I still work somewhat with Teresa. I'm doing some gigs with her, and with Billy. Actually, Dr. Billy is a professor, you know, at the USC. So. Uh, that cut back a little bit his musical aspect, but he's starting to get back to it. And right now we have a new project together, which
Mhm.
actually I have a gig tonight with him and stuff, you know. So both are long-time friends, definitely. I mean, Bill and Teresa. I mean, like I say, yeah, but again, like you said, blues rock, totally different from the other stuff that I've done, if you want, you know.
I mean, I suppose you do still listen to some music, or what would you choose? What do you usually choose if you still listen to music when you're working? I know that you work in something that is not really directly related to music. So what are your choices these days? Or are you still
I'm
listening to the
pretty
blues?
I'm pretty open on that. You know, I like to me what in music I'm not would like to stay stagnant and stuck to the past. I always like to listen to new stuff. So and especially now with YouTube and stuff, I mean, it's so easy to get access to a lot of artists that you would not know otherwise, you know. So I'm pretty flexible, different style, but mostly more in my main choice would be more into the progressive jazz, like Snarky Puppy, for example, or new artists like that, Enigma, I mean, which is not like new age kind of thing. I mean, so but something that I always like textures music, you know, with a lot
Okay.
of different textures of sounds and stuff like that, you know. I
Do
don't
you
know if you
remember?
did you have a chance to listen to my solo album, Reaching
Yeah.
Beyond?
No, not that one, not yet.
Yeah.
I hope I
Okay.
will. I hope I will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that with Kit. I mean, well, I didn't do it with Kit. This is all my stuff that I composed and recorded, and then Kit produced it. My friend Kit Watkins, you know, produced it back east, you know. But that was in 1992. So it's been a while, you know.
Yeah. No,
But take a chance, listen to it, yeah, when you get
I
a
have.
chance.
In Time is my favorite. That, but up
Right.
there. Yeah. Yeah. Are you familiar, by the way, Coco, with a band called Yuzet from France? Yuzet. I
A
know
little
he's
bit,
from
not
sorry
too much.
from Canada. I guess they
Yeah,
are
yeah,
from
yeah.
Canada. Yeah. Yeah.
I heard of them, but I haven't listened to much of them. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Now I know that you are not trying not to stick to the past, but I would still I'm sure you will understand that one big interest is to talk about the time when you were part of Happy the Man. I think it was 1978, 89.
78, 79, 2 years, a couple of years, yeah, 2.5 years,
Yeah.
something like that. Mhm.
And how demanding was that job compared to your previous work, and how much did you contribute to writing the music pieces back in those days of the band?
Well, with Happy Man, I mean, I was not writing. I mean, I was just, but basically what I did, that was kind of fact actually easy for me to adapt coming from France, but still, I mean, because of my experience with Stradivarius, I don't know Stradivarius if you heard. I mean, there's a couple of things, not too much involved there, but there was already a progressive group back then. You know, original stuff, uh, creating my own stuff. I've been creating my own drum parts for many years before that. You know, so when I get into Happy the Man, that was kind of like a second nature. It just felt right. I mean, just to go in, learn the songs that they were doing, the composition between Kit and Frank and Stanley, you know. So it was a really easy feat. Like I said, I got in contact with them. We got together one night. We jam and play on some stuff. I had the job. I had the chair. I had the job, you know. So that was fairly easy, smooth thing to get into it for me. Yeah, concept wise, you know.
And could you tour a lot with them? Because I'm not sure if Happy the
I,
Man tour a lot.
well, it did earlier, but before I got there, maybe.
Ah,
when I
okay.
when I got there, actually, there was like a transition with a record company, Arista.
Yes.
They actually got dropped right there when I joined the band. I mean,
Ah,
it's a funny story, you know. So actually, no, we ended up doing a few, not really touring, single gigs like that around the states a little bit, not too like East Coast mostly, you know, like Pennsylvania or New York, or that kind of stuff, but not too many at that time. Basically, what we did, I mean, we work all the new songs from the Bello Late album, the last album. So that's
yeah.
why basically we got back together, recorded that, spent the time on that, try to market that new product, but nobody was going to sign the band for anything, you know. So I don't know. That's what and the band started to have dissociation between members there, the different concept, different. So basically, I was there at the end of
Okay.
the self, you know.
And what's your impression not being a part of the band but from outside? Do you think that the music of Happy the Man was too complex, or because there have been some bands like they do have some tendency towards pop, like melodic prog, but not Happy the Man was they had some complex rhythm changes, tempo changes, and the melodies were sophisticated, like Happy the Man almost. So I don't know what's your personal feeling about Happy the Man and why an important label like Arista dropped them off. Like it was, yeah.
Well, that music at that point, you know, the trouble there, the being with an Arista record, that was not a good record company for that kind of a music. I mean, they were trying at that point. They were trying to branch out and get that gong and all the progressive things group around, but still doing Whitney Houston and all that stuff. So that was okay for the group to be signed, but that was not the right market for them. And the company didn't know what to do with that. And the lack of management, not able to get a good management to really push it. It's always the same problem, you know, especially back then. Today it might be easier to do it today, but who knows, you know. So but the complexity of music to me didn't scare me. Like I said, it was very second nature. I mean, to work with all the time changes, and I've done that with other group, like I said, back in France, and so Heldon, when I did Heldon too, and Clearlight Symphony Orchestra. I mean, so I had no issue at all. Like I say, it like a shoe fit in, very nice, you know. And that was and very interesting, challenging to do, you know, definitely, you know.
Well, Coco, do you know that one artist that I used to play a lot on radio between 1989 and 1996 when I left the radio station? It was Kid Watkins. I think he's a real genius, and he has an ability to make melodies that are really amazing and really emotional and very intense and beautiful music. And I don't know if you still keep it. Are you still in touch with him, or?
No, a little bit. You know, from when the Happy the Man broke up, I mean, actually, I'm the only one in the band that are really connected. And as you can see, after that, we stayed together. So we did the project together, like in time. Well, at first I did a solo album, Labyrinth. We worked on that album. Then we did it in time together as a combination of a collaboration. And I mean, to me, I mean, Kate is an amazing artist. Unrecognized by the market, the business itself. I mean, it's very sad because, I mean, you look at his discography, the volume of music that he's done, it's amazing, you know, very amazing. And I always have a great musical rapport with him. So I wish it's good. I talk to him once in a while. I mean, because he's kind of became a recluse too. He stopped a little bit. He got through the years, I mean, he was trying to do things, but he got very disappointed because it didn't get exactly the whole recognition that he should have got, you know. So I don't know. But like I said, the music is great. I mean, it's so amazing. And he influenced me a lot in my writing, definitely. Definitely what I write. I mean, I'm very, you can tell, I'm sure there's a lot of influence from him, you know. He's a great artist, you know. And like I said, my album, we were able to do, I was here in Los Angeles. I did all my tracks. I put all my tracks down, arranging and stuff like that. We never got together once, I sent him the stuff back east for him. He produced it. I did some solo because I couldn't really do solos and stuff. He had it, and that's how we did my album, which is amazing because we never got once together in the same room. We always did that long distance. And I think when you listen to my album, I mean, it's great. You know, it's great. So but when you have a strong communication with a player like that, you can do that. You know, you can do it like that. You know?
Well, Kid was very kind with me. I write him some letters, and he sent back some records and some radio IDs. So he knew. I think he knew that we were playing his music in Chile, which to many people is quite amazing. His records were never released here. Nevertheless, well, a friend of mine introduced me to Kid Watkins and Happy the Man, so it was a good luck, good chance to have played them. Yeah. Now, you work with Kid on Labyrinth and in Time, which is really my personal favorite, and you had very good reviews. I think you got really good reviews. Did you tour? Could you play live? Are there any recordings that you think are hidden there in Kid's treasures, like hidden live tapes or anything?
Well, the only thing, like I said, right now, that we have, it's on YouTube. We have, you saw them, Kid Watkins and Coco, you saw them on YouTube. That's the only thing that's going to be available like that, you know.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that when we did that show there, we wanted to use it for marketing and stuff like that. But the people that did the recording, they messed it up. because we had the tracks, you know, play on top of the tracks and stuff. The visual is great. We had a great the camera and stuff, but they mixed up the mix. The drums are totally out the drums of the mix, so we could not use it. Well, nothing was done with that because of that reason. Recently, when I met Dean de Benedictis of Stratos Ensemble, he's the one that put those out on YouTube and with the quality that it is. To me, it's not a great quality, but it's still a reference that people can see, you know. So, but other than that, no, there's no. Well, for me, no, I do not have any done recording. I'm not sure about kit. I mean, but like I said, back then we were doing maybe the whole Revox depths, that kind of stuff, but I'm not sure, you know. I'm not sure what's there. You know. You probably have. You probably have what you can get, I think. Yeah.
Sure. Now, do you have any anecdote that you remember, something special, unexpected that happened during the time that you were making or playing in time live?
Well, in time, in time, there's a lot of anecdotes because the way we did it in kids' basement, you know. So what happened? I actually never played the drums, the actual drums. I never played there. I'd play some cymbals, I play some snare. We recorded all the stuff like that, you know, parts with parts. That was the beginning of a computer. We had a whole Mac, you know, the whole little Mac and stuff like that, and a lean drum. I have a drum machine lean drum that I have, and we created the whole thing like that, if you want. I mean, so that was very a good recording and working together on the sounds and all the stuff, very amazing back then, because that was the premise of the whole recording that today is happening. You know, with all the MIDI that didn't exist, you know, all the combination of sounds you can do and all that stuff. So now that was interesting, very interesting. Like I say, in a small basement, they're working. I had a track of cymbals, like over the Andes. I did the cymbals and the snare was already programmed somewhat, and then I added some extra snare on it, that kind of stuff. Never play the kick drum. It was on the track, you know, and so on the machine, if you want. So now there's a lot of little things like that, you know, that I remember too because it's been a while now. So, but I know that's what I remember about In Town, and like you said, the product is very nice. I mean, all the. Yeah.
Do you have any favorite tracks from those? I mean, I know it's very long time, but In Time is my personal favorite. Bob's tune is fantastic. Over the Andes, I don't know why Over the Andes. Is there any experience? Do you know if Kid was inspired by some trip over the Andes?
I'm not sure. No, not that I know of. Not that I know of. But I'm not sure. Sometimes where he gets the idea of a title. Sometimes when you do a song, you know, I'm not sure. Sometimes you have a concept, but I'm not sure that this one there. I don't know. I cannot tell you that. And the good thing too, in that album we put some of mine. Rumble at the Ruins, Do You Mind, and
Yes.
and Après-midi. That's the one we collaborated actually. Après-midi. I had the keyboard thing. And then he added the whole thing, and so that was nice because, like I said, that was the first collaboration there between just the two of us, you know, having some of that stuff arranged with him together, you know, and his stuff, you know. So that was nice for that, you know.
Do you know if any of the other guys from Happy the Man are playing music yet? I have no idea really. Like
but we lost. I know Frank
contact.
passed away. Let me see. I'm not sure about Rick Kennel, the bass player. Like I said, since I left, it looks like we never had any contact. That was the thing that happened between us three and Kit and I. We kind of split. That's where we split, you know. And for me, I never had any. And Stanley, I think he's got some issues, health issues right now. So I'm not sure. But again, I'm not in contact, so I don't know.
I understand. Now, you just mentioned him a few minutes ago, Cyrillle Verdeaux, if that's the right pronunciation, and the Clearlight Symphony Orchestra, which I also was lucky to discover, even living here in Chile. I had the chance to find an European pressing, and I think this was an era of excellence in music. How much experimentation was there, and do you keep any special memories of a guy that I really like a lot, with Tim Blake, who was also a band member in Clearlight, wasn't he?
What's the name of it? I missed the name.
Tim Blake. Tim
Huh?
Blake. Tim Blake, who was in Hawkwind and Gong. He plays synthesizers. Tim Blake.
Tim Blake, yeah, but I'm not sure. I mean, I
No?
don't.
Maybe
no,
you
but-
did. You were in different lineups, possibly.
Yeah. And actually with Clearlight, what happened? It's funny because it's the same with Happy the Man. Happy the Man, they do 2 albums. The second album, they got a drummer to do the tracks. He come back, he doesn't want to do the band anymore. Then I get into the band. So Clearlight, that's the same thing. They got 2 albums. The album said so. I meet Cyrillle Verdeaux, Cyril, which is the leader there. I meet him for some friends, and just to do a tour in England, and that's all I did. So to promote the second album, which I didn't do, I did the tour with in England and stuff. That's my experience with Clearlight only. And I came back to France, and then nothing happened. And then I got involved with Heldon, with Richard Pinhas, So that's interesting, yeah, because twice on those projects, I was not involved with the album that got promoted by doing the live gigs after that,
Yeah, well, there's a very great singer on some of the Clearlight Symphony albums, which she's Valérie Lagrange. I'm sure you remember her, the singer Valérie Lagrange.
But like I said again, that was a different. I was on a different lineup when I did Clearlight. I had Cyrillle. There was a Joe DeGrono on bass. There was a violin player. I don't remember his name. But Cyrillle was the keyboard player. Basically, there was no other keyboard player there that I remember. I mean, so that was very quick. Like I said, that was just about a month of touring, a month and a half or something like that. So that was very, very quick,
Okay, now I just realized that you said Richard Pinhas. I've never been sure how to say that. Pinhas?
Pinhas. For me, I says Pinhas. I mean, I don't know.
Pinhas. Okay,
yes.
Yeah. Well, I've been a Heldon fan for a long time now, and I was surprised to, find you in your biography. Also, Richard seems to be a special person to work with. We've been in touch in some way or other, and I was trying to interview him too, but I think he got some health issues, and he's been touring. I think he even came to Peru or Mexico, and I was really amazed. It's a pity that no one wants to bring him to Chile, because he has many fans. Heldon is not a massive band; it never was, but they have a cult. Heldon does have a cult and a following. So
Yes.
What memories do you have about working with Richard Pinhas? You were there in 1975, 76, and
Yes.
and with
Right.
Schizo. Schizo was before,
Right.
yes.
That's a long story there. Yes. So we go back to Schizo. That was 71, I think, 71. When we met with my older brother, Pierrot, bass player, So we met at some point. I don't know exactly how we met Richard, but so we Schizo was fun, if you want. So that was four people. Patrick Gauthier, keyboard player, and so. But Richard is an interesting guy. I mean, he's a. If you want, my brother and I, we're more of the suburb kind of people, and I mean the way we were raised and grew up. Richard Pinhas is from a bourgeois, if you want, the bourgeois. He was born with money in a 16th arrondissement in Paris, and then so there was always kind of a class differences between us, if you want, in that sense. But still, I mean, we got along and stuff at that time. But again, so Schizo happened, and I don't remember exactly how that ended. I don't remember specifically. Lost track, and but then after for me after Clearlight, when I came back from England and stuff, for somehow I got back in touch with Richard, and he was doing at that time Heldon, and he needed a drummer at that time to do the recording, so that's how we got together. I did the recording. We did one show in Paris, just the two of us. and that was actually recorded on the radio station and stuff through a thing. But and then at that point, I came to the States right there. So I decided to move to the States, you know. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not sure. Like I say, it's a funny relationship because we were never really that close, especially for me back then. I was younger, if you want, and stuff. I mean, then when I look back, I mean, I don't know. It would be different, but so I don't know. And recently, I got Richard actually via email tried to contact me. He was coming to LA. He did a gig in LA. I could not go see it. I was busy, but we tried to get together. Couldn't do it. But it's funny, you know. It's a funny experience with people like that. They come across your path. They come and go. You know. I mean, it just
life goes on.
Yeah. They come and go. I mean, the difference with Kit, to me, I can call Kit tomorrow. And there's no problem. You see, the connection is still there. These other people, you know, it's not there. I mean, it's like almost starting from scratch. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting, you know.
And what did you say that you recorded on a radio station? What recording was that? What album was that?
I don't know. I don't remember the station there. I don't remember.
But it wasn't a studio album then?
No. It was like an exposition. There was an exposition in somewhere in Paris. They had a lot of functions, a lot of stuff, and part of it there was, and we did one show there. Again, I don't remember exactly the details. You know, I just don't remember.
It's okay.
That was recorded live on a radio station at that time. You know, so.
But there were never any Schizo albums. I think that they made only to sing.
45, a little 45. That's it. Did you see it, or do you have it? Or?
No, it's a rarity. I think that some.
It's on my website. You see, on my website, I got my discography. It's showing there.
Yes. Yeah. But I think there was a reissue recently on some label. You know, they've been reissuing things for this new vinyl fever. What do you think about this vinyl fever coming again?
I don't know. The trends, you know, I'm not much for trends. Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, I mean, people are so now with the internet. You know, I mean, they're so. People don't buy CDs and albums anymore. You know, they stream and so I don't know. I think that could be maybe a limited market for that. People like maybe you or people from back then. For us, I mean, I had tons of albums still. I mean, I'm looking at yours there. I mean, you have tons of album on your side there. Yeah. So, but I'm not sure of the younger crowd generation. I don't think that can take off. You know, I don't think so. It's too much to carry around and stuff, you know. I mean,
yeah. Well, to be honest, I think that my personal case, I usually get bored. I think that digital platforms and all that it's a great opportunity for younger generations to have access to so much more than we had back in those days. Living in Chile, in Latin America, no Heldon album was ever released, and so the only way you could find out about music made in Europe was when somebody went to Europe or when somebody traveled. Right. And then a couple of radio stations began playing this music, but it was really, really hard to make your way exploring the European avant-garde scene, so to speak. Now that we're talking about this, Coco, what do you think are the ups and downs of the digital music market today and the independence from big record companies? I think it's a positive thing. Essentially, but I think that digital is so light. I think for me it's like it disappears. I prefer the physical thing. I am an old man too, so I prefer those vinyl records behind me. They leave a mark on you completely. The visual mark, the visual aspect, the graphic art. Yeah. What do you think?
You get the credits, you get the concept, you get everything. Which, like I said, with the streaming and stuff, there's none of that. I mean, people will grab one song from one artist, but I say there's no credit, there's nothing, so it's a totally different concept. I mean, for as far as the music business like that these days, you know, there's some good because the access, if you want, but as far as the what's the word I'm looking for, the weight of the product and stuff it's not there, if you want, you know. It's not there.
It's like
So,
so light. It's so invisible at times,
right.
and it looks all the same. These yellow carpets are so boring on the computer. Yeah. Now, tell us about your drum hand decks. I'm curious about that. With some precision tools you've been working with or selling in more recent years, drum hand decks.
Well, my drum on it, you know what happened? It's okay. I've been playing drums since I'm 9 years old, 10 years old. So I've been doing that with the bands. At some point, I get involved with, actually started, I got involved with a female acoustic guitar player doing a project with her, and just as a duo, you know. So it was not good at in the concept to have regular drums there. It doesn't work with acoustic guitar. You want something lighter. So I started to think in my head to do some hand drums. So I got a djembe and got involved with that concept. So that started the thing in my head to think, but I need to expand. I always like to have more sounds, more, especially even with a drum. When I have my drums, I have a lot of cymbals, different texture cymbals. So for me, the hand drum concept started to say, oh, well, maybe I can expand. So I created a whole set as like almost like a drum kit, but with drummer. So I have the electronic drums, I mean hand sonic, and a bongo and a darbuka and a djembe. And at that point, actually, we had a project with Billy Brian. We created a project like that together. For me, doing that, the bass and having a keyboard and a sax, you know, and a vocal. So we had a project like that for some years, like that, doing those kind of gigs, you know. So, and which is good for some of the venue we were doing. If you play drums, sometimes it's too heavy. So to me, having that control with a sound like that, with the hand drums and stuff like that, was much better and very unique, very different, if you want, in that sense. That's what I'm trying to do in my head for always to put. I like to push, to challenge myself to push the limits a little bit. You know, always not stay stagnant on what I'm doing. I like to expand, and because I'm a composer too in my head, you see, I don't think just drums. I think sound, textures. You know, so that's important for me. So that's why that came about, the drum index. So and then after that, I switched now because now I have what I call a percudex, which now I'm playing with sticks. I created a set with a same thing, electronic pads, octopad and stuff, but I'm playing with sticks instead of my hands.
What
So
do
that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
what do you call it?
Percudex,
Ah,
Percudex, Percudex, like percussion drum experience, if you want,
ah,
Percudex.
okay.
Like Teresa say, it sounds like a medicine. It sounds like,
Yeah, it's a
but
strange name.
I like to
Yeah.
give him a name because it's an experience, you know, itself. So that's what I'm using right now, more than my regular drums actually, for when I do my gigs. Like tonight, that's what I'll be doing tonight, you know. So, but like I
And
said, for it's mostly I'm not doing concerts. If I was doing concerts, there'd be a different story. All the venues are restaurants, small things like that.
yeah.
So it doesn't work to play drums. I mean, in the concept of a music, you know, in my head, you know.
I'm sure, Coco, you have some, you are all the time you've received inspiration. We could talk about some drummers that when you were a kid or adolescent, a teenager, and what inspires you to still compose music and what originally inspired you? Do you have any heroes at the drums or anything like it, or musicians in general?
That's always a question that we get, you know. That's interesting because to me, I never got fixed to one player. Throughout my growth my, in my music, at some point I got involved in interesting with some particular drummer, for example, you know, back in France, I had some, then I moved to the States and stuff. So it's throughout because I didn't want to, in the concept for me, it's not when you're a player, the use is not to copy somebody else. We're all different. We're all humans, but we're all different. We have different emotions, different thoughts different. So to me, I mean, and I never thought that I wanted to copy somebody and get attached to one person, for example, like let's say Neil Peart, for example, Neil Peart. So you have a lot of drummers when they start, they want to learn all the licks of that guy, everything that he does specifically, note for note, stick for stick. To me, this is not the concept. The concept is you have to learn your technique on the instrument, get comfortable with the instrument, get influence with maybe somebody, get influence in your head, but not learning and find yourself to use those tools to yourself, create who you are, That was very crucial for me always, that in my head, So throughout the years, like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, I mean, I always progressed lacking a specific drummer, if you want. Listen to the stuff, really like it, I look like it, but that's where I stand. And maybe get some little things from that, the concept, but not really learning it, That's the difference there,
Wow.
I don't know, I can tell you, I can do a lot of names here, but because there were a lot of names, as well, like in France, Daniel Humet or Christian Garros. Then I go to the Christian Vander from Magma.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I mean, well, the anecdote on that, I was doing a gig somewhere in France with the R&B, the blues R&B group that I was in, with horns and stuff. Christian Vander came here after that with another singer doing some R&B. I saw him there live for the first time, and very impressed. I mean, he was doing "I Can Turn You Loose," a song from all his writing. I mean, the way he played the song, I mean, that influenced me. But that's where he stands, Then Magma, he created Magma. The whole thing was good. I mean, like I said, but that wasn't time. But again, I really appreciate and like his style, what he does, but I never want to copy what he does. Listen to it, get influence, and move on to somebody else, So, I mean, that's a thing. With whatever the music I'm listening at some point, like right now, Snappy Puppy, I mean, there's some great players there and stuff. And so that's a thing. To me, I cannot tell you one specific, but I don't think so. Maybe somebody else can tell me, well, you sound like this person. Maybe somebody else could tell me, but I cannot tell you that,
Yeah. I understand now. You know that Christian Vander and Magma, they were here recently. They've been here like 3 times, so it was quite amazing. Yeah, they have lots of fun.
50 some years, 60 years. I mean, that's an amazing what he created there. I mean, the whole thing. It just very. I'm watching a lot of YouTube right now. There are a lot on YouTube, and so I watch all that stuff. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah,
it is.
But there's not a drummer like him. Again, he's got his style. I mean, look at him. I mean, playing and stuff. I mean, and created the whole concept of a new language and all that stuff. That's interesting.
Before I forget it, this wasn't in my original set of questions, but I'm a very big fan of French keyboardist, and I think he's been involved. He recorded a couple of times or once with people from Magma, and he's François Briand. Are you familiar with him? Do you remember the name François Briand? François Briand.
No.
No, he used to record for a very small French label company, which is called Egg, where there's a guy about to hit an egg with a big spoon.
I remember the name, Egg. I remember the name, yeah. But no, I don't think I never met or never did.
Yeah, and well, even Heldon, they released an album which is Stand By on the Egg label. It was a very short-lived record label, but they made very interesting records. So I was curious if you could maybe remember his name. Now, about your collaborations, to start like closing this conversation, that's been very interesting. I probably think that you might want to mention Jean Tatum or Catahoula or Acadiana, the Cabana Boys. Are any of these projects still going on? Uncle Mackie?
None really. I mean, Acadiana, that was something that I got involved because of Teresa Russel, because she was part of a member of that group. That was something like a project, a short-term project, if you want. I mean, because after that the band stopped, and so Catahoula, that's interesting. Catahoula, it's a group from my ex-wife. Pamela Clare.
Okay.
So that's what it is. Yeah. So that's interesting. So that's how I got involved with the band. They had some problem with the drummer there, and she asked me. We were already divorced at that time, So she asked me if I wanted to be being in Los Angeles there. Yeah, she asked me if I wanted to be part of the band and stuff. So I joined the band and as a hire, not as a part of a group per se, because it's more of a group, people, friends and stuff. But and we did the album Second Sight, did recording the Second Sight, and but right now with the COVID aspect, we have some kind of steady thing going with us, steady gigs, but it's a 7-piece band, so it's pretty hard to get gigs there in LA with a 7-piece band where you make some money. I mean, you can play for free everywhere, but so the COVID totally messed up the whole thing there because everything stopped and stuff, and so since then there's nothing going on with the group there, and I'm not sure if something else will happen. I'm not sure. So, which is okay. Again, you see, you get short-term situation like that in your career. You just have to accept it. I mean, it's hard to get long term like Teresa Russel. And for me, I mean, that's 25 some years. I mean, that's an amazing long time for to in a group to be in a group. So, but that's it. Right now, my if you can see that, let me see. I got to put it here. This is a Stratos Ensemble.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Stratos Ensemble, in fact.
So that's an interesting project there. That's a new CD that just got released. The main guy, Dean de Benedictis, keyboard player, from a long time ago from Brand X. He had a little spat in Brand X, but he's been doing that ambient, progressive kind of thing for many years now, with different formats, different players and stuff that keep moving around and stuff like that. Stratos Ensemble. So there's a lot of stuff on YouTube again on that. The album, some of the album is there. There's some videos.
Are these the guys?
Look at that. Well, I was not in that one there. So there's other pictures where I'll be there, But let me see what he got here. Yeah, that's a format. You see, I'm not there. Through the years, he's got different thing there. It should be there should be a couple of pictures there and you have to go through and stuff like that to see it. But so I've been involved with him with that project somewhat for, I want to say, almost 8 years now, kind of thing. But it's not it's a recording project right now. It's not. We did a few live gigs, but again, it's a very different. It's an improvisation music, very improvisation. There's no sets. Like, for example, for that CD there, what happened, we go in the studio, we play straight for an hour and a half, straight, improvise. I mean, no guidelines, nothing, just improvise. After that, what happened with Dean is the guy producing the stuff. He goes back, creates some passages, edit the whole thing, create some songs from the passages that we have, the good things that happen in both jams, if you want. So it's a lot of work. It's tedious, takes a lot of time, but he's very good at it, and so. But again, that's a project that I do. I mean, just for the fun of it. There's no for that kind of music, you cannot expect a big thing. It's very limited marketing. I mean, for that kind of ambient kind of thing, not a big mass appeal of the thing.
Yeah, but that is usually where the good music is.
Yes, right.
Le bon musique is usually. Yeah, my French is not very good. Well, I had this. This was the previous album. Yes.
Yeah, that one I did not play on this one. I did not do it. This time on this one I got fired. Actually, I got fired on the project. Well, fired. I mean, it's a joke, but I did not get involved with that project. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All these I did. This one I did not. Like I said, some later on, the most recent one I got involved. In the recording.
What's the label, the record company that this new record came out on?
This one you mean?
Yes, yes.
I'm not even sure actually. I'm not sure.
Well, some people that are going to watch this video, I'm sure, are going to be interested. So maybe
let me see. Oh, Fretless. It's Fretless Records.
Fretless. Okay.
Fretless. F-A-T-E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did this came out? Recently, like a month ago?
Yeah, it came out like a month ago, a month ago.
Oh,
okay. And we had some good reviews with some publications and stuff. I mean, good receptions. But again, it's something that for listening, you listen to it, thinking about it. It's improvisation. It's nothing is written. So, but he come up with a lot of good created some songs from that. That's interesting.
What format suits you the best? Improvising or, playing for something that is previously sketched, like so to speak, or like for when you work with.
I'm not sure. I mean, either one. I mean, that works. I mean, sometimes to have a better product, it's better if you work something out. I mean, get a product worked out and stuff like that. Rehearse, work together. You can expect maybe get a better product, a better finished product if you want. The improvisation is fun to do, to experience. You don't know what's going to come out of that, So, and especially when you have 4 or 5 players, you have moments, you got great moments, but you have moments that are kind of dull, not moving. So it makes it a little more difficult like that. But either way, for me, I mean, I enjoy. I mean, because they're both challenging in some ways, in their own way. They're challenging, When you create something, you have to create your parts and make your part happen to what's going on around the instruments that are going around. So it's very interesting in that sense. So either one, and jamming, you have to be very aware too. You have to listen to the players around what they're doing and stuff like that. Make sure you communicate and to some ways, So either way, I mean, I'm not no preference per se,
I think there was a lot of improvisation in Heldon, or am I wrong?
Yes. Well, yeah, because the sequences, Yeah. Well, the Heldon that I did, now all the stuff that he's done after, I don't know exactly what format. I know he's done some stuff with Michael Manring, and it looks like Michael Manring got involved with him. But for me, I mean, yeah, that was a heavy sequence. I mean, and guitar on top. I mean, like Fripp, Robert Fripp kind of guitar on top. I mean, so that was the concept for at that time for me. Yes, definitely. I mean, so
Good.
jamming for me, jamming on the top of the sequence and kind of thing. Try to do the best I could. Again, I was very young there, so in my 20s. So yeah, I don't think at that time I developed the whole style that I have now. If you want, I was still fresh a little bit,
In a good sense. Yeah, you did good things, sure.
Yes.
Okay, now the last question, Coco. What are you doing during your days if you don't make music?
Well, the thing is, to me, that's difficult to make a good living, with music. And because I'm not, I've never been a hustler. To really get something going, but if you want in your career, you have to really to hustle, and go after. And I've never been that kind of a character, if you want. And maybe it's bad for me. Maybe that's why I didn't go as far as I could have, if you want. But earlier when I got to my 30s and my 40s, I don't know. It's something for me. I didn't want to struggle making a living with music, so I decided to some point to have I was okay to have a day job, get my income that I need to be less stress, no stress, and do my music, keep on doing my music on the side, as best as I could. So right now with the work that I'm doing, I've been there almost 30 years actually with that company there. It's I'm in sales. I'm a distributor of precision tools. So I'm with the middleman between the manufacturer of tooling and the end user of the machine shops, all the people that makes parts and stuff like that, customers, like companies that make parts for something, for cars or for dental or for we distributing the tools for that. So that's what I do. So I'm in sales, and I'm it's a whole market. I mean, it's a crazy market. It's so intense because there's so much involved. I mean, it's huge. I mean, the machine shops and people making parts and stuff like that. For airplanes or whatever, So it's just very huge. And for me, it's been good for me. I mean, like I say, in the sense that it gave me that steadiness on income that I need. I mean, to be able to live a decent life. I'd never wanted to be struggling and stressed. I mean, I'd be dead by now if I had stayed like that. I mean, I think by stress. So I'm okay doing that, and that limits my music thing if you want. But at the same time, no, it's not, because I'm still very creative. I still have a passion, and I do my gigs on weekend. Like tonight, I got on Sunday, and I still create some music. So it's okay. When I'm able to retire from that, then I will have more time to dedicate again to the music at that point. But when I
Yeah.
can retire, I don't know.
I hope not yet. That's what I
Yes,
know.
well, I mean,
Yeah,
from my day job. I mean, from my day job
I
to give
understand.
more time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doing
Never.
music, no, music, it's there forever. I think I'm going to
Yeah,
die. Music, yeah, yeah,
yeah. Music should never stop because it makes people. It puts people together, even if we have different ideas, ideologies, and
yes.
religions. Yeah, it's like a magic over all the rest of things. Now, Coco, it's been very, very interesting. Thank you for your time, your interest. I really never thought that we would be doing this when I was playing your music back in the early 90s on the radio. Sorry, it's a long time, I know, but it happened like that.
No,
What
but
can I do?
that's nice to hear. Let me tell you, I mean, that's nice to hear because, and especially when you're in another country and stuff. I mean, it's amazing. So
Yeah.
what do you do now? That's the same thing. You're not in the radio anymore, huh? You're not in the
Yeah, I still have a radio show on a
radio.
friend's online radio station every Sunday night. So I could
Okay.
eventually be playing Stratos Ensemble one day. Why not? But I make a living teaching English, by the way. That's what I studied. Yeah. So I've been a teacher for long years now. I was on radio for long years too, but then it all changed, and you have to follow what life is suggesting you. Music has always been with me. I'm a collector. I'm a really real music passionate, and I love this capacity to be talking to people who make great music like yourself and all the people you work with. It's very interesting to hear it in the first person.
Yes.
You were
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no,
So
no. That's nice. Yeah. Oh, good,
that,
good, good. Yeah.
yeah. Now, I'm going to ask you to send me a few things for my radio shows if it's possible, but then that's going to happen after I end the recording. So thank you for the video, Coco. Would you like to say something else that I didn't ask you? Something
No,
like
no. To me, like I say, I'm very flattered that, like I said, to find out uh, musical musical people very involved with from the past, and to me that's an honor. I mean, to have that contact and knowing that all around the world there's people like you. I mean, like I say, it's just very, very, very satisfying, and uh, and like I said, that's the best thing as an artist that you can get. People like contact people like you, like even on a gig when people tell you stuff. I mean that's what it's all about. The be able to share your talent, you share something, you share the music, your expression, who you are to other people, and make them have some experience. That's the best you can ask. Definitely, best you
yeah.
can
Well,
ask.
thank you because and don't stop playing, please. Don't stop creating. That's the
Right.
reason of this conversation. So thank you very much, Coco.
I will stay
And
in touch. Definitely, I got your
yeah,
thing.
we surely will.
Everything, I
Yeah.
got something going, and yeah, I will send that, and definitely, that's very appreciate that. Okay.
Okay. Please don't hang out yet. Thank you.
All right.